Hello and welcome back to From a Head Teacher's Perspective with me, Paul Urry. Leadership does not begin with technique, it begins with identity. For many teachers stepping into leadership, this can feel uncomfortable. Teaching identity is often well formed. You know who you are in the classroom. You know what you value. You know how you work. Leadership identity feels less certain. You may find yourself asking, what kind of leader am I becoming? Do I have a leadership style? Should I be more confident, more assertive, more decisive? Am I leading in the right way? These questions are not signs of insecurity. They are signs that leadership development has begun. Leadership identity is not something you adopt from a book or copy from others. It is something you develop through reflection, experience, and choice. Your leadership identity sits at the intersection of your values, your beliefs about learning and people, your personality, your experiences, your context. This means there is no single correct leadership style, and that realization can be freeing. In schools, we often encounter different leadership styles: quiet, thoughtful leaders, highly visible, directive leaders, relational leaders, strategic leaders, calm, steady leaders, energetic, persuasive leaders. None of these styles is inherently better than the others. What matters is authenticity and alignment. Leadership style becomes problematic when it is performative, when leaders try to act in a way that feels unnatural, forced, or disconnected from their values. Energizing leaders sometimes believe they must become more leader-like or become louder, more dominant, or more authoritative. This is a misunderstanding. Leadership authority does not come from volume. It comes from clarity, integrity, and consistency. Exploring your leadership identity begins with understanding yourself. This includes noticing how you respond under pressure, how you handle disagreement, how you make decisions, how you communicate expectations, how you build relationships. These patterns already exist. Leadership simply brings them into a sharper focus. Self-awareness is a leadership strength. Leaders who understand their own tendencies can adapt without losing authenticity. Leaders who lack self-awareness often repeat patterns that undermine trust without realizing why. Leadership identity also involves understanding what you believe leadership is for. Is leadership about control or service? Is it about certainty or inquiry? Is it about compliance or growth? Your answers to these questions shape how others experience your leadership. As a subject leader, your leadership identity will be felt most in everyday interactions, not in formal roles or presentations, in how you respond to uncertainty, in how you treat colleagues, in how you hold standards, in how you talk about pupils. Leadership style is not a fixed personality trait, it's a behaviour in context. This is important because it means your style can evolve. You may notice that your leadership looks different in different situations. More directive when clarity is needed. More collaborative when trust needs to be built. More reflective when complexity is high. More decisive when momentum is required. This adaptability is not inconsistency, it is leadership judgment. Strong leaders do not cling rigidly to a single style. They remain anchored in values while adjusting behaviour. Another important aspect of leadership identity is confidence. Confidence is often misunderstood as self-belief without doubt. In reality, leadership confidence often coexists with uncertainty. The most grounded leaders are not those who never question themselves, but those who reflect honestly and continue anyway. Leadership identity is strengthened when you learn to tolerate discomfort without abandoning your values. There will be moments when you feel unsure, moments when you question your decisions, moments when you compare yourself to others. These moments do not undermine your leadership, they refine it. Leadership identity is also shaped by feedback. How others experience you matters, not as a verdict, but as information. Leaders who are open to feedback grow faster and more sustainably than those who avoid it. This does not mean pleasing everyone. It means being curious about impact. As you explore your leadership identity, you are not trying to label yourself. You are learning to answer a deeper question. How do you want others to experience your leadership? That question becomes a compass. It guides decisions when situations are complex. It shapes responses when pressures rise. It keeps leadership aligned with purpose. Your leadership style will evolve as your role evolves. What matters is that it remains grounded in who you are, not who you think you should be. Leadership identity is not found, it's formed through reflection, through experience, through deliberate choice. And it will continue to develop as long as you keep leading. The accompanying workbook is designed to support this process, helping you reflect on your leadership habits, identify next steps, and translate insight into action as your leadership continues to develop. Please do take time for yourself or in a group to work through this workbook. And until next time, thank you and goodbye.